Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to AriesEDC. There's only 4 builds on the board. Let's get into it. All right, so on the last video here for the builds for September, you guys saw that I had gotten all of them in really good spot. We actually started on working on the handle materials, which we are going to get back to here in a minute. But I was able to acid etch and tumble the 3. This is the Bud, and that thing turned out pretty awesome. We have the Bloom Harpoon, which is looking good, and the Cardinal XL. We're all acid etched and tumbled. These 2 are in AEB-L, and this one is in Nitro V. The Gargoyle, which is in AEB-L, is all taped up and ready for the handles, because we are going to be gluing up and working on the handles now for these builds. I need to tape up these blades and get them protected because we are in a really good spot. So the Gargoyle is getting this. This is a cool Noble Raffir that has this is like the golden yellow, and it has like these brass running through it. It's gonna look pretty stinking cool. So I got this one pretty good along with the others, and what I have to do at this point is I need to round the fronts and hand sand that all out before we're ready to glue up. So the Gargoyle Harpoon is ready to be glued up. We're going to do that material with the brass pins as a reminder, and the Cardinal XL is looking good with this fat carbon, the purple camo fat carbon, which is going to look pretty awesome with the pinks and purples in it. And we're just going to do the black pins with that one. The Bud is getting this Admiral Blue Jute micarta, but this stuff is really thick, so what I want to do is thin that out just a little bit. So I want to take it down to that line that I masterfully drew but I just want to thin that material out a little bit, so that's going to be very messy, and it's going to be a ton of work to try to get, because micarta doesn't like that kind of movement. But I want to thin it out just a little bit. That's just way too thick for such a small little blade. But that one's getting that material with the blue black pins. And then finally is the Harpoon, or Bloom Harpoon, which is going to get this, and I need to thin this material out a little bit as well. It's far too thick, which I purposely did, but this material moves pretty fast, so it shouldn't take much to just thin that material out just a little bit to make it a little bit more easily to work. So that's the first thing I need to do, is thin this material out, and then I can start shaping the fronts of everything and getting them all hand sanded and ready to go. Plus, I have my live stream this morning, so I'm going to start by thinning out this material, see how far we get, and then I'm going to jump into the live stream, and maybe I'll do all the fronts on the live stream. So either I'll catch you right before the live stream or after. We'll see how it goes. All right, so that is much better. I'm much more happy with the thickness of that. It's still a little thick, but that little bit is going to make a big difference. I'm still going to contour everything really well. Wow, the sun really coming in, and get everything looking pretty good. So that is where we are now. So now we are ready to do the fronts on all of these. I also did this one. That's so much better. And it's going to give me plenty of material to contour the handles and round everything and make everything nicey nice. But we are ready to round everything off on all of this material. So It's time to take these and angle them, and then I think during the live stream I'll just hand sand all of them out and give them a little polish and see how they look. So I'm going to pull all this out, and we're going to start. I'm going to take them to my little 1x30, but also has the flat wheel, and I'm just going to put a little angle here on all of these, and then we'll prepare these for the live stream. So awesome. I got to do something during the live stream. All right, guys, I would say it was a successful live stream. We got all 4 of these all glued up. So we got the fronts looking nice, and we got them all glued up, looking to get these to the next step, which is going to be shaping these handles up. So I just need to clean off some of this epoxy, and we will be shaping handles. Holy cow. Well, we're making pretty good progress. I've roughly shaped all of these. That's going to be pretty cool. You can see that wire mesh in there, and that's going to be pretty cool on the gargoyle. So that one's awesome. It's early in the morning here, but I'm going to start shaping these handles. So now the rest of it is all done by hand, and even this wood, starting to get some fun textures on the green. So that's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. Once I oil that up and everything else, it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get to work. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am working on this one, and I just wanted to share with you guys what this thing is going to look like. I am pretty excited about how this thing is going to turn out. What do you guys think of that? And I'm not even halfway through doing this. Holy cow, that's going to look awesome. All right, guys, sometimes you do a project and you're like, yeah. This thing, I'm trying to get it in the sun. Let's see, zoom in a little bit. What is, come on. You can see through it from the top. Look at that sparkle. Oh, jeez. All right, guys. I couldn't help myself with that one. That just looks really stinking. Ugh, that thing is awesome. So, Gargoyle Harpoon is looking good. I just need to clean up a little bit of the red glue residue on this. And this one's ready for the next step, which would be a sheath. Holy cow. But these three are still looking good. The carbon fiber or camo carbon on the Cardinal XL looks awesome. Polished it up, got it looking all nice. I mean, that looks pretty good too. But I really need to re-etch the spine and the handle on this one and these two as well. This one will be a little bit easier because it's if I get the acid etching on the carbon fiber, it does nothing. the micarta, it discolors the micarta, so I have to be really careful with the micarta. I've tried to tape it up, and it's just a pain. I'm going to try it again, especially on this wood, because I know it's definitely going to stain the wood, but I have to re-etch all of this. And then for these two, they need to be oiled. And then this one, we can just go straight into a sheath. What are we doing for these? I think each one of these, well, this is getting a gray, no, this one is getting a gray sheath. This is getting a carbon fiber sheath. This is getting a purple graveyard, what is it called? The purple haze graveyard. I just did it recently on another blade. And then this one is getting a really interesting pattern sheath. So we are looking pretty stinking good on these. So the next step is I have to start etching the spine and the handle on these, which is a very time consuming process. I just might start these and then start working on the sheath on this one, or at least getting this blade cleaned up and getting it prepped for a sheath. But yeah, this is gonna take time, that is for sure. All right, guys, so while those are soaking, let's talk kydex. So I mentioned what we were doing. So we're gonna do the bud is getting the carbon fiber. The camo carbon, or the fat carbon cardinal, is getting this. This is the graveyard skull purple haze. And then the gargoyle is getting this. This is the herringbone pattern stuff. So that thing is pretty interesting. So it's gonna get this material. So that and that is going to look pretty stinking cool. And then the bloom harpoon is getting gray. So we got gray, the carbon fiber, this one, and the purple skull. So I'm gonna let those soak. And I need to tape up this blade and start cutting up this kydex so that we can get these prepped for sheaths. But I gotta let those soak on that acid, and we'll see what they look like. All right, guys, I got these looking better. We got the edges all darkened on everything, and I want to take the tape off of these and see what the damage is. Unfortunately, this tape doesn't really, I've done this before and it's never worked out. And I did it again. It's just, you're in and out of solutions, and the acid etch and the stickiness of the tape goes away, and it just doesn't end up looking good. But the Cardinal XL, it all darkened up and looks better, and the underside as well. So now it's all kind of matchy. Wipe this clean and make sure that it's nice and dry. And now we need to do the other ones, or at least take the tape off. I already know we already have issues, so but we can fix it. That's the thing, is it can all be fixed. So let's take the tape off. It actually worked fairly well for the most part, but we do have some issues. You can see the yellowing on the micarta, so all of that is going to have to get resanded and clean. Unfortunately, at least it's here, which makes it easier to get to. Up in here, it's not going to be fun to get all of that. So I'm gonna spray this down a little bit with the baking soda mixture to make sure the acid is not seeping into everything, but it's wiping off fairly clean. And basically what I do is go back with a 220 grit sandpaper, rough all this up, sand it all up really well, and then it'll be time to oil these up. But that all looks matchy and looking good, and we'll be doing all of that. So I got to fix this fix that, which I kind of knew was going to happen, but it's better than trying to fix along here. That makes it difficult. Like right in here, it's going to be a little difficult to do because then you start scratching what you just acid etched. We'll see the wood. The wood, this tape actually stuck fairly well to the wood, but I can already tell. I don't know if that's just because it's wet or if that's the acid etch. I don't really know. It got really wet in here, but again, I don't know if that's the acid etch or that's just the water or liquid. So either way, I'm gonna have to let this dry out and see what that looks like, and then go from there. I might just sand it one more time just for the heck of it. That's not going to be fun to do in there, but we'll see what it looks like. But the Apatong, Brazilian Apatong, is looking pretty good. And again, I'm going to be Dutch oiling all of this. That's the next step for this one. Into my cart is I'm going to put linseed oil and then Dutch oil and get these all sealed up and looking good, and then we can start doing sheaths for that. I'm starting with the gargoyle sheath already, and then we can get the cardinal sheath started as well. So I'm going to start taping this one up because this one is looking good, but we're going to do these two. But I tell you what, we're going to do that on the next video. So on the next video, you guys, we're going to be cleaning these up and getting sheaths done, sharpening, and I gotta make the beads. I gotta have all this material and I need to make beads out of everything. So ton of work to do still, but looking forward to getting these all finished up. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember, subscribe, like, leave a comment or not. That choice was always yours.